Hello, I'm Andrewsaurus. Welcome to Valorant for Dinosaurs Episode 6, your second game of Deathmatch. In this episode we'll pick up from where we left off, playing Deathmatch games to master the basics of Valorant. As a reminder, your two mastery goals are learning your way around the maps and finding good places to stand. In this episode we'll add two more mastery goals to do with shooting, so before we leap into the Deathmatch let's do a quick warm-up. Go into the range and practice the first mastery goal we learned in the range, flicking from target to target. Go as fast as you can while hitting 90% of your shots. The purpose of these exercises are to move your shooting skills from the conscious, analytical part of your brain to the reactive, subconscious part of your brain, which will work best when you hit the shots most of the time. So slow it down when you start to miss and really make sure you're getting that mental link between crosshair on head and click now. One thing you should consider at this point is modifying the appearance of your crosshair. The default crosshair can be distracting, so most players modify it to something smaller. Hit the escape key to go into settings and choose the crosshair tab. Choose the icon import profile code and type or paste this string into the text box. I've included the string in the description of the video below. Hit OK, then escape to go back into the range. If you don't like the new crosshair, you can always change it back to the old one. Be aware as well that this exercise can be frustrating in the way that many exercises are when you expect to succeed most of the time. It's easy to fall into annoyance and frustration when you miss, rather than satisfaction when you succeed in getting a few really good shots quickly. When you do this exercise, you should note to yourself what your best sequence of shots was and hold that in your head. Positive reinforcement is the most effective and enjoyable way of improving. If you find yourself getting frustrated when you miss a few, shake out your hands, look away from the screen and rest your eyes, then return at a slower speed and build it up. Try to finish with some good shots. Then, once you're back in the main menu, queue up Deathmatch again by selecting Deathmatch and clicking on Start. As before, let's find a good place to stand, that is, hold an angle. But now, in addition to that, let's think about where to position your crosshair so that when somebody comes around the corner, you don't have to move your mouse much to shoot them. Not too close to the corner, because it'll be hard to react quickly enough to shoot there. Have a guess at the height their head will appear at. It helps that all agents are exactly the same height, and there are often cues on the walls that help indicate head height. In this case, what we're hoping will happen is someone will come around the corner and you can shoot them, just like you practiced in the range with that first drill of flicking to the target's head and shooting. You don't need to move yourself in this case, it's just a quick flick. Hopefully just a tiny adjustment because your crosshair is already pretty close to their head, and shoot. Usually you'll also hear them coming, so listen out for footsteps. Valorant uses directional audio, so you should be able to hear roughly which direction the footsteps are coming from. If you do manage to shoot an enemy, congratulations. Also, when you get a kill, your gun will automatically reload and you will see a first aid orb appear over where they died. This only appears in Deathmatch, not in other game modes. If you pick it up, your health and shields will be fully restored. You don't usually have to worry about reloading your gun in Deathmatch mode, but for reference, you can hit R to reload if you only have a few bullets left. Now, when the enemy appears, it may not go according to plan. That's okay, it is hard to hit a moving target. Let's say the enemy swings around the corner, your first shot misses their head, and they strafe from side to side and shoot you. Or they duck behind cover, then pop out again and instantly headshot you. Here is a good time to check in. You've probably been shot a bunch of times, and it can be startling. Of course, while you were exploring, it was no big deal. You weren't trying to win, you were just learning the layout. But now you are trying to win fights, and you're probably going to lose a lot of them. This is of course fine if you start to feel frustrated at how difficult it is, and this is very difficult. Take a break, or go back to exploring for a while, and of course continue to observe what the other players are doing, where they are standing and moving. As a reminder, our current goals are learning the maps, where to stand, and where to put our crosshair, not to get as many kills as possible. It is really useful to analyze the gunfight that happened when you held an angle. First, make a note of where their head was when they came around the corner. Did you have the crosshair in a good place? Do you tend to put it too high or too low or too close to the angle or even too far away? For example, if the enemies often swing out from the corner further than you were expecting, try setting your crosshair further out. Next, we're going to introduce a mastery goal for what to do when your first shot misses, because people miss that first shot all the time. First, if you miss, you can keep firing and adjust your crosshair to try to hit them before they hit you. In fact, with the Vandal, you can just hold down the trigger and spray at them. If the enemy is really close to you, this is the best option. But as you may remember from practicing in the range, as you spray, the gun will start to point upwards, so you'll need to pull it downwards. Your mastery goal here is, if there is an enemy really close to you, like this distance, spray at them. It is tempting to aim at the body, knowing that the spray is going to push upwards anyway, but it is still much better to aim at the head and pull downwards after the first few bullets. You should always give yourself the chance of killing them outright before thinking about spray control. It can be really useful to look at the kill feed after you lose a fight with someone. It will show you who killed you, and whether it was with headshots, body shots, or leg shots. It will also show you how much damage you dealt them in return. If you were using the Vandal and had any body shots or leg shots on the person who killed you, you would have won that fight if it had been a headshot instead. That is good. You almost had them. But what if the enemy is not close by? If they're a long way away, spraying is no good after the first 3 or 4 bullets. The shots will get increasingly inaccurate, and the bullets are going everywhere but at the enemy. Let's look at how this works. In the settings, go to Video, then Stats, and go right down to the bottom of the page where it shows Statistics for Shooting Error. Turn that to Graph Only, and go into the range. Get out of Vandal, go to the area with the target, and set the range to 10 meters. When you spray at the center of the target, your gun will pull upwards, and then left and right at random. To correct this, after the first 3 bullets, you need to pull it downwards as you spray. In addition to this, you can see on the accuracy graph that the bullets become more random as you keep shooting, with up to 1 degree of randomness in the direction they fire. This is not a big deal at short range, but at long range you will miss the vast majority of the time when your shooting accuracy is bad. In order to reset the accuracy of your gun, you need to wait for about 1/4 of a second. Stop firing and take careful aim at the enemy. After 1/4 second, your accuracy will have reset, and you can fire another burst of 3 bullets. Of course, in that 1/4 second, the enemy may well have killed you, so this is not an entirely satisfactory answer. In the next lesson, we will conclude our deathmatch tutorials with 2 mastery goals for combining, moving, and shooting. As a reminder for this deathmatch game, your 2 new mastery goals are to position the crosshair so that when an enemy peeks, you don't have to move much, and to use spray control to kill enemies when you are holding a medium to close angle. Good luck. And remember, in deathmatch, nobody is your enemy. You are all working together to improve each other's shooting skills.